Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday Night Live stream. We got Mark with a C. We got Walter. We got CW. Kyle, do that thing you do, brother.
Good evening, everybody in the side chat. I've been off all week and I have been worthless as crap. But it is awesome to see everybody in the side chat, and it's wonderful to see all these beautiful faces on the panel. And let's get it going, Walter. What you got?
Well, let's see. What do I got going on? I got a couple videos out this week. In fact, I got one uploading right now. I did the one yesterday. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And plan on shooting tomorrow and Sunday both. Sunday's the annual Christmas party out at the gun club. Nice big barbecue and open days at the range. So if it don't rain, I'll be out there. Other than that, I'm doing well. It was a good day around here.
Awesome. Mark with the C, what you got?
Oh, well, it's been a busy week back to school after Thanksgiving break and eagerly awaiting the Christmas break. We've been doing a little bit of hunting. Seth and I have been out and haven't seen anything, haven't any luck yet, but also tinkering with the 35 Remington, not planning to hunt with it this year, but just wanted to get something that would work. And I think I finally got close. Got that overall length straightened out and got things working, chambering good, and got at least 5 shots on paper at 50 yards. So that was promising. And I cannot wait to cast this new mold that I got the other day. My first and only NOE. And this one's going to be good. Looking forward to it. So I got a couple things to come.
Good deal. That's better, Jamie. Jamie was freezing a little bit with his video, so looks better now.
My webcam just fried.
Really?
Yeah. And mid-stroke right there. What about that, guys?
So yeah, you're a little tall. You're a little different perspective. So you're on the laptop.
Yeah, I'm on the laptop. Integral, I think is what they call it.
Integral? Yeah, that's the word.
No, this is YouTube. There's nothing integral about it. We have no integrity, and we're not going to pretend like we do.
We do. I love it.
There's Dave Thorzak's. I hope all y'all had a great week. Michael Hurtneck is back up there. We'll do the whole side chat. We have a topic idea. Would you like for me to share our topic idea?
Please do.
Go for it.
Ain't that fancy?
We got a crawler.
What I'm telling you is when a redneck starts learning a little bit of stuff, you're in real trouble. Ain't that right?
We take it and run. We take it and run with it.
Yeah. 6-shooter Texans out there, Chris from the 740.
Pull you up a chair and sit down by it.
Yeah, pull you up a chair and set a spell. That's what Uncle Jed always said, ain't it? What did we do shooting-wise this week? CW, you start.
I know it's going to surprise everybody, but I did a little casting. That's what I did this week. Yeah, I know. I didn't do any reloading, but I did sort some brass. And today I scared heck out of myself. I pulled a rifle out that I had started fiddling with a few months ago and realized that I never put my bottom sling stud in because I had changed stocks. It's a AR. So I thought to pull the stock apart rather than just drill a hole and screw it in, and I'm glad I did because it was hollow and skeletonized where I didn't expect it to be. So I ended up putting a stud in with a nut and a washer, and getting that stock apart was not easy. And I took one screw out, and the whole stock slid off the mainspring housing, off the main tube, and it I jumped. Did not expect that at all, but I didn't hurt nothing. So, but I got it done.
Mock.
There too much background noise, guys.
As long as you don't flush the toilet again, we should be fine.
Yeah,
I was going to say, not if you're at 747. I mean, sounds great.
It's like it was last week, Mark.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
are you still? Yeah, that's good. Just mute it until you talk.
There you go.
And he gone.
He'll be
He'll be
back.
He's a
He'll
good
be
boy.
back
He'll be
when
back.
he gets back home. So I've done some. Never mind. I'm gonna wait till last. My guest should go first.
No.
We got Gene Reloading from the Hot Pot will be here later. He's in the middle of a tattoo. If I was getting a tattoo, I don't think I would appreciate the artist stopping and sending me home
No.
where he could come be on a live stream, and
Start laughing.
I have to come back tomorrow and get it finished. Yeah, so we got Mock is gone after hunting and trapping supplies. He'll be back in a little bit. So with that, Mark with a C, what did you do shooting and reloading wise this week? Anything?
Well, shooting and reloading wise, I did 35 Remington. Just still playing with that, learning, and at least got a starting load. I didn't want to put a real heavy load in that old Model 141. I would hate something terrible to blow that thing up. I really don't consider it mine. It's my nephew's, and I'm sort of caretaking it, but I would like to shoot it. And I'd talked to Dummy Round and CW a little bit, and I found a nice light load to start with. That's got me at least on paper, so I'm doing that. My son was really itching for a nice new bolt gun, so we put up I got a 350 Legend bolt gun, Savage Axis. We put that on paper and did really well with it. He actually took it hunting last Saturday, and we went the other night just to do a little bit of shooting. I tried that 35 Remington, and I put a few rounds through that 357 Blackhawk, and was really pleased with it. I'm gonna try to refine that some more. And I got that brand new mold from NOE that I heat cycled a couple times. I really wanted to cast it, but I don't want to get in a hurry. I'm going to try to take it easy. I'm going to maybe do that tomorrow evening.
Okay, tell us about the NOE mold.
Not gonna hurt it none.
That was a prize from the Full Lead Taco Q-tip challenge, and I did put an entry in, but I wasn't drawn. My good friend Rob Hamilton, Hamilton Outdoors, he was drawn, and although he's done some casting in the past, he's not doing anything now, so he asked if it was okay to pay that one forward to me, and I was absolutely thrilled to get a hold of this. It is a TL313 153RF, and it looks beautiful. I cannot wait to put some lead in this thing.
Nice.
You're going to love NOE, man.
Oh, I think so. Just from the feel of it.
So
Yeah, they're
you'll
good.
be
They're good.
You'll be getting an MP next.
I hope so.
Guys, I just got to tell you, I started on Lee. I got a ton of Lee molds. I still use them. I still think they're great. But man, I'm telling you, you put your hands on an MP mold, and it's like all the rest of them feel like they're going backwards. And I know I shouldn't be that way. But it's just the way they feel, the way they cast, and I'm fixing to take mine all apart and clean it up. But we'll get to that when I get to my turn.
Let me tell
Walter,
you something that I found out this week involving shooting. McCormick now has shotgun primers. Jamie, you left your primers here, sir.
I'll come back and get them.
And thank you, old soldier. I appreciate that. I always love my any who, any how, anyway.
And we're going to get to that topic. Y'all already blowing that topic all to pieces. I knew I shouldn't have put it up there yet. Walter, what did you do?
I didn't get any shooting done this week. I was busy with other things. I did some loading. In fact, I loaded a whole bunch of 45 ACP with small primer brass with an NOE mold, and it's a mold that I've had for a while. I bought it in 2 cavity, and I liked the mold and the bullet design so well that I bought the 4 cavity. So I had a bunch of those and loaded them up. I think I loaded 400 rounds or something of those. And then I did a little bit of casting. I had a couple molds that I've been sitting on for a while that I hadn't cast yet. One was Lyman 429 360. It's a nice big long lead forward, pretty wide B plat 44 caliber bullet. And so I cast up some of those as a 2 cavity mold. I think I'd had that mold a year and never used it. And then I cast an MP mold myself. It was a new one that I just got, I'm going to say 10 days or so ago, in 38/9 slick-sided, 147 to 152 grain, depending on if you hollow point it or not. Nice mold, man. It ran sweet, and the bullets just rain out of that thing. They're amazing. I've got another one in 380 that I need to break out and cast. So that's where I am. I'm going to shoot this weekend, Saturday and Sunday both, I think.
I might go to that turkey shoot again. What about you, Kyle? You do anything? You've been off all week. What have you done casting, reloading wise?
I sorted some wheel weights. Did a little bit of yard work, cleaned up a little bit around the house, that kind of stuff. Like I said, I've been useless all week, and I enjoyed every second of it.
Life is good. Let's go back to old soldier's comment up here. God is great. Yes, he is. Reminds me of that country song. God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy.
I knew that was coming from somebody.
I almost saw a fight at the gas station today, and then I realized I was going to be in it, and I'm like, time to leave.
And we gone.
Yeah. Yeah. People are, yeah, man. It's bad when you say people are crazy and you realize you're one of them. So, yeah, God is great. I think
That's
it was,
what I think, Dave. The finish is just a little bit better.
yeah. I do not own a arsenal or an accurate mold, and I want to get at least one of each of those just to say I have them. I do not have a Hensley and Gibbs. I hope to own one day.
I'm the other way, kind of. I got a whole bunch of Hensley and Gibbs, but I don't have any Arsenal or accurate either. I got several NOEs, but
that NOE, I let Jamie borrow a NOE hollow point mold. That's one of my favorite molds. It's one of the best casting molds, but you got to take your time with it. You can't do it fast. You know, it's a 4 cavity, but you're not going to bang out as much as you could with like a 6
Yeah.
cavity Lee mold. They're hollow points, so you gotta get the mold up temp, and then don't let it overheat, or else you'll start ripping the ends off your bullets and all that stuff. It just takes a little getting used to, but once you
Yep.
get it down, it's one of those molds that was designed to be used with another mold, where you cast that one, sit it up here, cast another one, sit it up here, grab the one you just cast, dump it. You know, it's perfect for a 2 mold casting setup.
Yeah. And I like the NOE molds. One thing about the 45 caliber mold that I have, I think it's the HTC 452-234, I think they call it. But it has a little bit of a shoulder right at the top of the shank before the ogive dives away from it, so you have less of a problem with that ogive, cramming into your rifling if you had short lead on a chamber. That's kind of a nice feature that they put on it compared to like the MPs are sort of straight shafted all the way up. But and Jamie, did I lend you one of my NOE molds, like a 38, that 133 or something?
Yeah, it's in yonder by the casting pot. That was one of the things I was going to bring up when I got to my turn.
Okay, well, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Um, I have one of CW's molds, I have two of Walter's molds, and I have one of Kyle's. Um, the NOE mold, Walter casts absolutely fabulous. I have had nothing but issues from the Lee 6 cavity 358 125 RF, which is a no brainer. I mean, it's a 6 cavity mold, it should just cast like butter. I have I have taken this thing apart. I have scrubbed it numerous times. I have cleaned it with brake fluid. I have
Brake cleaner, I hope.
brake
Yeah,
cleaner.
break,
That's what he meant.
break fluid.
Marty.
Wait a
What's the
minute.
problem? I found the problem.
Hey, uh, don't listen to what I say. Listen to what I mean. I know that's difficult, right? So anyway, I'm having trouble with this mold, and then uh, CW's big Lyman 4 cavity 452 200 truncated cone mold that I have, it started casting funny. So I'm like, look, when you're having trouble with molds and multiple molds, it's probably something else. So I did the deed this week. One of the things I've done is drained my Lee 420 pot and cleaned all the muck out of it. And I wished I had saved it. No, that ain't it, junkie. And no, I didn't. Uh, Broke loader. I ain't going to do. I ain't going to do that. Uh, Listen, guys. Seriously, I've I poured all of the lead out of this pot, and there is a collection of gunk right there by where the lead comes out. I
Mm,
mean, it's
Yeah.
that muck that usually comes up to the top. Well, I realized what was going on because I have the pin um, from my PID goes right down there next to that, so that makes it very hard to scrape when you're fluxing, and that all that stuff was just gathering right down there in those two areas. So I took that all apart and I cleaned everything, lubed everything back up, and I did all of that walks. I think, and then CW, I was talking to CW and he sends me this link. I got to get on there and order those things. They're cleaners for a welder, and that's all I know. He can tell you more about it, but I'm going to get me some of those. But even that would have not done any good. Listen, guys, every once in a while, you just got to pour the lead out of your pots and you got to scrub the inside of those things, get them nice and clean. I even went so far as to put some, that rod that goes up and down. I pulled an Uncle Jim trick and I put some metal polish on the rod and put it in my drill and honed that mating surface. Kind of turned it around a little bit. Now I have.
If you're going to scrub it out, you need to use a steel toothbrush, not a brass one, not an old toothbrush from your bathroom. Get you a steel brush, one of them little handheld little ones, and scrub it out with that because that's the only thing that's going to get that crap out of there.
So basically, that's what I used. I used a brass one to start with, but it just wasn't getting it done. So I got a steel toothbrush and really got with it with some brake cleaner, not brake fluid. Scrub that.
I found the problem.
And so I have when you get it back, you're going to probably have the best cast and lee mold that's ever. I've got like 6 hours working that thing, and let me show you how it works.
Yeah, I was kind of flabbergasted when you said that because I thought, man, that's one of my better running molds because it's always dropped pretty well for me.
Right. Well, you get gunk in the hole, it don't come out real well. And
That's what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So I got this bag
Ooh,
full
yeah.
of bullets, and these are sized to 357. I'm gonna try those in 9mm, and then I got this coffee can, and it's probably you can see it's just covered up the bottom.
Yeah,
But
200 or 300 in there maybe.
Those are all sized at 358 for the 357s, but I'm gonna fill this about halfway up, and then I'm gonna send that mold back to you because I've had it way too long.
Well, fill that can up, man. I'm in no hurry.
I have those HTC bullets. I absolutely love that mold. I'm gonna buy me one of those. And
They fall out of there good, don't they?
golly, man, it's a wonderful thing. And I tell you what, I'm gonna try to buy that mold. But if I get this thing back together, the Lee mold, and it don't cast like I want it to, I'll send you a brand new one, Walter.
No, just send that one back when you're done with it, and I'll make it work. I'll beat it into submission.
I ain't going to do that. That ain't happening, brother. That ain't the way we work around here.
It's a Lee mold. You just got to slap them around a little bit.
You're going to get it back better, or you'll get a brand new one, and you can start over from scratch. But yeah, man, that's
go ahead, Jamie. Sorry.
That's if you're having trouble with multiple molds, look past the mold. It may be something wrong with your pot. And one thing I noticed too is what tipped it off to me was I was getting really bad pour out, and when I would cast and when I'd make my pour, and I try to when I cast, I try to get the stream go right down that hole, and I want it to hit bottom and then fill in from the bottom up like that. But when I would stop my pour and move it to the next one, I'd have a real thin, like a needle-sized stream going all the way down there. That stream is the first thing going into the next cavity, right, CW?
Mm-hmm.
There's no possible way
that's
you're
what I was
going
to say. You got to watch. You got to watch that stream. And one of my last videos, I did a couple really good close-ups on Rumble. I didn't put it on YouTube because, of course, I can't show that. But in my Rumble version of the video, I show really good close-up of the stream of lead. And if that stream looks like a ribbon, if it looks like it's got flat sides and it's like spinning, you've got something in that spout. And that's where I like to suggest you use the tip cleaners, the MIG
Yep.
tip cleaners. And they're what they are is they're not steel because the tips are brass copper composite, but they're rigid and it's like a file, but it's not sharp. And you just stick that up inside there, and you'll be surprised the difference. And one other tip is beeswax. Every once in a while, just before you run a stream of lead, just hit the nipple there, the spout, the spigot, with just a touch of beeswax, and it'll run right up inside, and it like clears it out. And then you just run it into your ingot pan or whatever you're catching your lead with, and you'll see a full, 16th inch, whatever diameter hole is there, stream running straight down. And you can cast, with a smaller stream, but when you're set up with a full stream and you're casting and everything's going great and it changes to a half and you didn't change anything else, you're going to start having problems with your fill out. You're going to have problems with your bases. You're going to have problems with all different kinds of things. And, you're going to think it's your mold. It's too cold. I waited too long, whatever. But it's like Jamie said, when it's happened across a couple of different molds, you got to look at the continuity, the common denominator, and that's your pot. So something happened with your pot, and that's what Jamie had happen. That spigot started to get a little clogged up and a little funky, and it's just like the walls in your pot. It gets that same scale and junk on it, and it can get powder. It can get flux, whatever you're fluxing with. You're fluxing with sawdust or something. You can get char. You can get carbon down in there. You can get all different kinds of things down that spigot. And it'll affect how that stream comes out, and it'll affect how your bullets cast, how your molds cast. So, the tip cleaners work really good, and the wax for once in a while as a preventative thing works really good. And if you notice it, just get your ingot mold underneath there or whatever you're using to catch the lead, and let it stream. You just pull that spigot open and let it run, and run a pound out. So what? Let it cool and dump it back in the top, and then just walk away for 15 minutes and come back and be back up to temperature.
Yep,
no big deal. It's just lead. It's the worst it's going to do is you got to walk away for a minute, let the temperature come back.
And it's one of those things that you're paying attention down here to your mold, and at least for me, the pot's kind of back here in the background. I'm not thinking about what's going on in the pot. I'm watching my stream, and I'm watching my mold, and I'm manipulating that. And if something funky happens with the bullets that I drop out, I'm immediately blaming the mold for I didn't get it hot enough, blah blah, and I kind of forget about that pot until the same thing will happen, you go back and your next stream is going off sideways or something. You go, oh, okay, that's something in the spout. And I keep that tip cleaner right there, bent at a 90-degree angle and a pair of needle nose pliers so you can get up under there and just ream it out a little bit. And I do it with the spout open. Hold the spout open and get in there and ream that 4 or 5 times and let it run into the ingot mold, and that usually cleans it up pretty well.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Make sure you're using pliers on that tool because it's going to get hot. Remember, that pot is 680 to 750, and it's going to transfer through that piece of metal into your fingers really quick.
Very fast.
Yeah, PID controllers. If you don't have one of the more expensive pots with a built-in PID controller, there's plans out there to make them. Hasbro has the PLC controller, and Michael. PLC works a little different than a PID. I used to could explain it. I don't care enough to go into it anymore. They both work to control the temperature by turning the power to the pot on and off at different intervals and for different amounts of time.
I think one changes the timing and one changes the voltage, I think.
Yeah, and you can add that, either kind of controller to that lead pot. It's a real simple thing to do. Even building your own PID controller is not that big of a deal. I made one. It came out looking kind of rough, but it worked with my Lee pot. To go buy a PID, a built-in PID pot from RCBS or Lyman now, those things are really expensive. Gosh, that
Yeah,
Lyman
they're,
Mag 25, that's over $300, pushing $400. And I think, no way. That's just too much money, I think.
well,
I
to
don't see it.
build to build a PID controller, you're looking at over $100 now, Walter. By the time you buy all the stuff,
Yeah,
unless you
and
That's what I was
have,
just going to
and
say. I know they've gone up.
yeah, there's some ready-made ones out there for buck and a quarter, buck and a half, something like that. And if you've already got a lead pot, then it's not a huge step. You got to make some kind of a little mounting thing to put your thermistor in, and that's what I did. Just a little arm up at the top of the pot worked good, but yeah, it's pricey.
so Mr. Pollard is absolutely right. You can dial that dial on that Lee, and Mr. Pollard, if you don't have a PID, do you use a thermometer? I've seen 6 shooter Texans pot, and I've seen Georgia Boy 44s. Hey, Pastor, welcome in, sir. Uh, it's still cheap to make one, Michael says, and we'll get to the topic. All right, everybody type in the brand of your favorite bullet modes, and we'll say hello. If you don't cast, just type in your favorite caliber, and we'll say howdy to you. And yeah, he uses an analog thermometer. And even those aren't cheap now. They're 60, $70.
Yep. Yep.
So we got Mr. Pollard, Tim S., 6 shooter Texan, Hensley and Gibbs, Vallejo, Walter. Ain't doing that. I'm going to call you a bad name. Seiko, MacMan. MacMan don't cast. We got to work on that. Walks Fletcher, Tommy Boy, Daniel God is my judge, Papa's Place, MacMan 39 MP. So he does cast.
He's a casting
NOE
fool.
so far. 3 Jeep Discovery. Welcome in, buddy. Harm, Miss Kitty, JCM 45. There's an interesting comment if y'all are interested. Michael Dunn, 12 gauge Paradox Slug. What's up with that? Y'all gotta love it. Tactical Fud, Kyle, GGW Outdoors, Bobby Barlow, JCM 45 NOE. Mark Thomas is down there on the panel. Daniel God is my judge, reloading from the hot pipe. Edward Petty, Trees a Blowing, Tactical Fud, Screw Tube Dot Outcast, Todd, Georgia Trapping and Fishing, Walks Fletcher, Booze and Bullets. What's up, brother? Garage Guy 879, Old One Guy 25-06. Michael Hurtneck 41 Mag, CW is in the panel and the side chat. Miss Kitty, AR Gun 1776 44 Mag. Reloader 762, 7.62 anything. There you go. There's Lead Bullet Junkie. And I think we're done. Welcome in, everybody. There's Ms. Hotshot. Thoughts of an old soldier's laughing at us because we're silly. And Georgia Boy 44, Dirty 30. I can't catch up. There you go. That's a country song too, Miss Kitty. What was her name? Kyle, you know. I feel lucky. No, he's not there. So I do not like green eggs and ham, said Sam. I do not like the way this new camera, this built-in camera looks.
I highlighted a comment there to comment on, Jamie, and I don't know where it went.
Do what?
I had a comment highlighted for when you were done, and it's gone.
Dagnabbit. I did that because I ran up on somebody that I wanted to highlight. Do you remember who it was or what it was about? I'll help you find it.
No, that's why I posted it. No, I don't. I knew I'd forget go buy it, so I figured I'd click on it. I got time here. I got another one from JCM that we can
Was it this one?
talk about. It's more to me. No, that's the one I was just thinking. That's more to me, but we can talk about that one. I don't know the guy's name, but I do remember reading that comment. Mine is from Willie. Willie made mine for me, and he got it from Elvis or from Fortune Cookie, which are both videos I believe are still up, posted here on the tube. But I don't remember. I know the costs were around $100 or just under, but everything has gone up. I'm sure the price on that has gone up as well.
Yeah.
But it's
Was that
he
it?
always said it, not very difficult. Let's see here.
Yeah, I built mine according to Johnny's Reloading Bench. You know, he put out a whole series on building them several years ago.
Yeah, he did one as well. Right.
Yeah.
That might be
And
a
so I
change. Yeah.
rounded up all of the parts that he said get and started soldering. You know, it was easy.
So that the question there is, and I can't read it really good. Can you read it easier than me, Jamie?
Does the PID
Does-
make that big of a difference? Yeah, always done it by feel. Watching my mold is telling me as I cast with it, checking how the bullets look. Yeah, you really don't need a PID controlled pot. You can judge by how the mold is casting, and if the mold is the right temperature, it's going to cast well. And it's more about the mold block temperature than it is the melt temperature anyway. But with something like a Lee pot that all you've got is a little thermostat on the top, you can adjust that until that, you know, and adjust your cadence. You got to pay attention to that. It's cadence versus pot temperature is what's going to affect the mold block temperature. So you can make those adjustments. It's just, I think, more convenient to have that PID controller.
Exactly. It's not required. It's just something that does make it nicer and easier because, like Walter just said, you know, you adjust your cadence, and a slower cadence is going to do one thing, and a faster cadence is going to do another. But if you have a variable in your pot temperature while you have a variable in your cadence, you're going to be so confused you're not going to know which end is up. So the more consistent you can be with everything and anything, you know, with reloading and casting and everything, the
Right.
you know, the better your life is going to be. So no, it's not required, and absolutely you can do without it, but it is a nice addition. If you can see how to swing it, you will take one variable out. You can still adjust it. It's not constant. You can change it to whoever you want, but it's going to hold it for, you know, until you change it for exactly that alloy or exactly that mold. So once you learn, like Walter said, you know, once you learn what your mold likes, you just set your PID for that with that alloy, because it's going to change with different alloys. It's going to change with different molds, largely because of the size of the cavity of what you're molding, what you're casting. So if you're doing let's say a 158 35 caliber, and then you're switching over to a 148 wad cutter, and you're switching back to a 170 grain 57, you're probably not going to notice a whole lot of difference. And that's because you're dealing with the same volume of lead in the same sized mold. But if you were switching mold block sizes, that's going to change it because it's going to heat differently. If you're changing
Right.
mold material, brass to copper to steel, brass to steel to aluminum. That's going to change, and you're going to find that all these variables change what's ideal. So, like if you do like Walter does and keep a log, he knows exactly what each of his molds casts best at from trial and error from doing it all the years, and he writes it right down. So when he pulls a mold out, he knows this mold casts best at about 725 with my wheel weight alloy or whatever the alloy
Right.
was, and off he goes. So there's a lot of trial and error for the person who keeps those notes and writes those things down, to make the best product they can.
And, with something like the lead pot that's just really got a thermostat on it, it's not doing any, measurement of the temperature of that melt. It's just telling how frequently to turn it on and off. So as your pot level drops down, you might, find that melt starts getting hotter and hotter in that pot. If you don't keep the level up about the same, as it drops, it'll start heating up that last little bit more and more and more and more. So you got to get in there and kind of manipulate your thermostat a little bit. But that's something you pick up real quickly.
Well, that's
even
a
with
definite
the PID,
with a lead
that'll
pot.
even change the PIDs. You get right down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Reloader 762 and James Pollard both said about having a thermometer, and I was very confused. I was working with that lead pot with the dial on top that really doesn't give you much of anything but a number. And then when I got that Seiko pot, it at least gives you a temperature, kind of an idea. But having that thermometer to dip in there and know what that pot is doing, and then, like you said, when it gets further down, it's getting hotter. And if you're not paying attention, you don't notice that. That has helped me immeasurably to have that thermometer to dip in, every 15 minutes or so, and just see where I'm at and see what the height in the pot is. That's been just unbelievably helpful.
Yeah, consistent temperatures really help you a lot. So does a hot plate for your molds. It's incredible the difference that it makes. I went 20 years without one, and I kicked myself because I was told, just like I'm telling you now, to get one, and I didn't. And what a difference! What a difference!
Get them up to temperature first, and if you do all your mold prep right, even with a brand new mold, well, I won't say with every brand new mold. Some of them are stinkers anyway, no matter what you do with them. But I found that, I get a new mold and I clean it up right and I work on the sprue plate a little bit and, I heat cycle it. Oftentimes I'll get good bullets the very first drop if I got them on that hot plate and get that mold, get those blocks up to, somewhere around 400, 450 degrees first. It makes a huge amount of difference. As opposed to maybe you got to do 10, 15 drops before those mold blocks are up to temp, maybe more.
Yeah, putting that mold up there on the side of the pot, that just
No, it never worked real well.
no. And I think it was Garage Guy got a brand new X-Bolt 270 Browning, and Mr. Pollard, although I would love to be able to loan you a 270, I only own one, and you're not getting my Seiko, brother. I'm sorry. That's just yeah, I'll bring it down. We'll shoot it. How about that? Or you can come up here and we'll go shoot it. Yeah, it is all a learning experience. Every time you go sit down in front of that casting pot and hold up, you're learning something. And we need to back up with that comment too. His comment started here. Thanks for touching on that because a lot of new casters are here. Could be put off by all the extra stuff needed and be super worried about temps and not enjoy casting by overthinking everything. That's what
Very
we
true.
do. We overthink everything.
I didn't
And then
have a thermometer for probably the first 3 years that I was casting. It was all trial and error. and you learn based on whatever mold that you're casting with how that works. And like CW says, Walter writes all that stuff down. But if you get behind the pour spout on a mold and don't learn something, you didn't cast enough bullets.
Yeah, I know when I first started, Mr. Pollard, that was my thinking. Um, Particularly on the Lee 420 pipe, as that lead level is going down, not only is it coming out slower and at a slower rate, but it's getting hotter. So when you think that it's coming out slower, it's got to be cooling off. So you reach up and turn it up some more, you're getting super crusty bullets, man.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you got purple lead. But
Walter,
and that's yeah.
Julian has a question. If you read back a little bit for you, I answered him, but he wants to hear from you.
Work the plate on a new. Oh, yeah, yeah. You have to work the plate on a new MP mold. Yeah, I do. In fact, as I mentioned at the beginning, I had cast a brand new MP mold this week, and I thought I had that plate squared away, and I left one little high spot on it and put a nice scratch across the top. And you may think that that's an OCD thing to get those sprue plates good and flat and to get the edges knocked off of them. And it kind of is just a sort of a cosmetic thing in many cases where that sprue plate will scratch the surface of your mold blocks. But if you put a gouge across the cavities, then you can start getting little bits of lead sort of leaking out into those gouge marks. And that's not, it may not be a horrible thing, but I don't want them there. I want my bases to be good and round and concentric on both sides. I don't want those little spurs on the base of my bullet. So yeah, I say yes. And with my new molds, before I even open them, before I even separate the jaws of that mold, I take that sprue plate off and take the stone to it and a little jeweler's file. And there's a couple of parts on a sprue plate where there's some angles that are notorious for causing gouges on the surface. And so I take those off and treat them. So yes, I do anyway.
Yeah, I always check every one of them. I check. Like Walter said, I won't even open a Lee mold anymore because you're almost guaranteed to gouge it, almost guaranteed to find that you need to adjust that sprue plate. I don't worry that much on anybody else's mold, but I do still check them all. But I've never had to adjust an MP mold for a sprue plate.
If Shirley inspected it from Lee, it's good to go.
Yeah, and I made that comment in the forum that I wrote that I forget how I worded it, but it's been worse since Shirley left because there's no more Shirley.
Yeah. And if you look at MP's sprue plates, the edge, Mihal over there in Slovenia, he chamfers, he bevels the edge of his sprue plates all the way around. I mean, they are really nicely done, but there's still a high spot right on. There's one corner that on his sprue plates always puts a drag mark across my surface, so I make sure I get that one down. But
the ones I have the biggest problem with are in the sprue plate right there over the hole over the cavity where the lead goes in. They're almost always punched out as opposed to drilled out.
The Lees. Yep, the Lees are.
Well, even the NOE MPs, all of those. And that's the reason when you hear us talking about we stoned a mold, that's what we're talking about is getting those edges off so that they won't cut into the top of the mold and you're now a little bit of a scratch across the top of the mold, even across the cavity. If it's very finite, it actually gives you a little bit more venting to get the air out. But that's too fine of a line to take a chance with. I'm not doing that. I want that. I want both of those surfaces as flat and tight as I can get them. What's up, Gene?
How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Doing better
We're
now.
back.
You're here.
We're here.
I was listening to it in the background, finishing up my work. I try to be done on time on Friday nights, but I just ran a little over.
It
I'm sure
happens.
your customer appreciated it.
Yes. Very, very good friend of mine who did some unfortunate things and had to go to some unfortunate places and ended up with a lot of unfortunate items. So now we are returning those items for new items.
Good deal.
So what you're saying is no
I didn't know
tip.
you did trade-ins.
Always looking to upgrade, man. Always looking to upgrade.
You know, I've thought about that a time or two. That now that there's no Walkman cassette players, what are they using in prisons for the tattoos when they don't have those little motors?
Electric razors,
Oh, okay. That would make sense.
trimmers.
Wow.
You can be quite inventive with things.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I knew somebody that was in the Hoosagao and made wine out of a mop bucket with grape packets, so grape jelly packets. So
Yeah.
you can do something if you got a mind to it.
Raisin Jack.
I asked him. I said, "Was it any good?" He said, "Hell no, it wasn't any good, but it do the job." He said, "It's a mop bucket, a trash bag, grape jelly."
Okay, so we're going to go through the panel on our topic tonight. Who wants to start? Kyle, you want to start?
I can do that. Me, like other people in the side chat, don't want another caliber. But if I was going to start another caliber, I would start a whole new evolution in my shooting aspects. I think I would go with a 54 cal muzzle loader. Start getting into black powder and stuff like that.
Well, that would be super easy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think it'd be that hard, but I've never done it, and I've shot a few, but never owned one, and I just think it'd be cool. Nice piece of history. Moving on.
Kyle's done. So I'm going to get me one of those things, man, because I'm sick of fighting little, what they call a mold guide on that Lee 420 pot. I got to get me one of them lab jacks.
Those look nice.
CW has a very inventive system where he uses a block of lead. That works really nice too. So, Walter, you thinking about adding a new caliber?
I am. I'm going to be looking for another firearm in one of the calibers I already have, but I'm looking for a new caliber too. And you guys know I'm mostly a handgunner, not much into rifles, but I don't own a 41 mag, and I've been looking for one for 3 years and haven't been able to find one. And it's so uncommon around here that. And what got me started is my next door neighbor right through that wall right there has one, and we've been loading a little bit for his. He's got a Smith and Wesson, so I want a Ruger Blackhawk in 41 mag if I can find one. And then the other one is I want another Cimarron, but in 44 caliber. I've got 357 and 4440 and the 45 Colt, but I'd like to have another single action Army clone in 44. So I'm going to be looking for those. I've got the dies and molds and everything for 41 mag, just no firearm.
Well, I found that firearm, and I'm with you, Walter. If I could, I found a really nice Blackhawk in 41 mag at a local shop. I went 2 weeks ago, and I tried to do some dealing on it. It's a consignment, and there's just no motivation to sell it from the shop,
Mm.
and I couldn't get anywhere. But yeah, if I was going to, it was MacMan a couple months back
Yeah.
when he picked up that Taurus. That got me interested in thinking about it, and I've been looking since then. And I can't believe I found the thing, but I just won't spend. They want $800 for it.
Yeah, for
I'm
used
sure
one.
it's
Yeah.
worth it, but I can't spend that kind of money.
And that's a Black Hawk 41 mag.
Yep,
Yeah,
7-inch barrel, 7.5-inch barrel. It's a
yeah,
beautiful piece.
I know. But before COVID and before all these shortages, that was the one. If you could find it, that was the one you could buy dirt cheap because nobody else wanted one.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, you could get those 350, 450 when you would run up on them, and now they're like you said.
I've got my other favorite shop that I visit at least twice a week, and they've got, I don't know, 2 dozen boxes of shells on the shelf. I think they're cowboy loads, but they're right there ready to go. I think they're 40 or $50 a box, and well, I would snatch those up.
And that was one of the things during COVID. 41 mag is not a very popular caliber. So around here, there was ammo. There was 41 mag ammo on shelves longer than there was anything else because nobody shot it. You know,
I did see
Oh,
something earlier today. I think it was on the Such's channel. A nice double barrel 410 that was only like $260, and it's actually got nice work on the silver inlay on and everything. And yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember who made it. I watched that first thing this morning at about 5 o'clock when I got up.
yeah, those Black Hawks are awesome. Well, good for you, Mister Junkie. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. There just haven't been any here for 2 years, 3 years since I've been looking. There just hadn't been a 41 mag available, and we only have really 2 or 3 gun shops in my area. There's a couple more that are 70 miles away, but
Yeah, we don't see them.
Yeah, they're
So,
not.
Mark, you thinking of adding a 41 mag as well?
That would be the one that I would add. Anything else I would get would just be additions to what I already have.
That's me. I I would like 44 mag. I have a 44 special, but I would like a Black Hawk and 44 Magnum and a lever gun. And I
No,
guess
you
that's
want a red hawk, not a black hawk.
no. I want a Black Hawk. You have a Red Hawk. I want a Black Hawk. Yeah, see, some places like Arizona and the 6 shooter Texan said he saw one last week.
We don't
Yeah,
see a whole lot of them around here.
see, if I rode out there, if I got out there to Tucson to buy one, I'd have to ship it back to my local FFL.
mhm, me
That's
too.
that's that's tragic.
Yep. And it just cranks the cost way up because you got to pay your shipping cost and your FFL. Unless he's your next door neighbor or good buddy, he's going to take a little bit of money from you for performing that service for you. And
Why
so
don't you,
it
if you
just adds
drive
to the
out there to
price.
buy it, just bring it home with you.
Oh man, you know how much trouble you'd get in for doing that here in California.
They won't sell it to you.
He's
It's
not
a
talking about
handgun.
California. He's talking about Arizona.
I'm talking
No.
about I'm talking about anywhere outside your state. You cannot buy a handgun and leave with it if you're not a resident of that state.
Yeah, you can. I think most states will allow you to ship it to your, and as long as you have it received by an FFL holder. And then here in California, he's got to hold it for 10 days. And then you still got to pay the California registration fees, our DOJ fees and stuff here. So,
The good thing about where we live, Jamie, is Cherokee doesn't charge you any FFL transfer fees.
Yeah, Rome Gun and Pawn wouldn't charge me either.
that's nice. Yeah.
There's Pat.
So 3G Discovery, yeah, James Pugh is saying it. You got a little bit more power than the 357 Magnum. It seems to hit that perfect niche between 44 and 357.
And you could load a 41 special case. Also, Starline even makes brass for it.
And see, that right there is what I would do. JCM, I would shoot more 44 special than 44 mag, but I just want to have that ability
Yep.
to go full on if I wanted or needed to. There's 67 Rebel SST AMC. What's up, my brother? And Mike, what am I correct about? I'm right so seldom because I am a married man.
I was only wrong once, and that's when I thought I was.
Yeah. But you weren't. Yeah.
Hey, Pat, were you able to get in touch with Rob out there about your car? Just a little side note.
West Covina. I know, Fuzz, right? That's yeah.
Yeah, when I bought my my Henry lever gun, I asked the guy. I said, "You got some cheap 44 mag, just so I can shoot it and have the brass because I'm a reloader." And he says, "There's no such thing as cheap 44 mag." Yeah, 45 long coal's just as bad.
I can see how that would be the case. Oh, I was right about pistol buying out of state.
Walks Fletcher. Fuzz shook the hand of Moses. I think he was first made on the ark.
Yeah, he was a stowaway on the ark.
Good night, Don.
Gene, what about you, buddy? Mr. Pishner, the topic is at the rolling across the bottom of the screen.
Well, me, I'm exactly the opposite as Walt. I've been pistol guy this whole time. So now I'm going to venture into rifles. And I'm 6'5" Creedmoor. So
Wow.
I've been collecting brass, projectiles, researching, homeworking. Have not put powder in a case yet, but man, just looking at everything. I'm trying to look at all aspects of it.
Are you growing a man bun?
No.
So are all marks that way about 6'5" Creedmoor? Because the other one certainly is.
I think so. I think he's hiding a man bun under his hat. There is the problem.
I'm hiding a bald spot under that hat.
Yeah.
Join the club, brother. It's all right. beautiful collection of hats.
Oh man, JCM got off a good one.
It started out as 15
It
commandments.
started out as 15. These 15, 10 commandments.
It's good to be the king.
History of the world.
That was so
Okay,
great.
this is my thinking, Tommy boy, and I know Walks are like this. My thinking is anything I can do with a 6.5 Creedmoor, I can do with a 270 even more better.
There's a bunch of
Tim's,
people that don't care for a whole lot of calibers, Tim. It's just
yeah,
you find one that you like, and if you like it, that's all that matters.
right. Don't let people and their opinions sway what you believe in your heart.
Look at G23. He's always hating on 9mm, the most common caliber in the world. He don't like it.
I don't like it.
There's people that love it and people that hate it. I mean, it is you do you, man. You know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's not the best millimeter.
10.
10.
I know
It's
people
just
that
a
love
silly
it
millimeter different.
and people that hate it. So I mean, I know people that love Glocks and people that hate them. You know, and everybody's got their own personal preferences. So
What I like about 9mm is it's so versatile. You can make puffy loads that your grandma will love, and then you can make a 9 major load that, man, just rocks your world when it comes out of a gun.
yeah, I loaded
Yeah.
up some 40 cals, and me and a Marine buddy went to shoot them, and he pulled the trigger and sat the pistol down. It was a Smith and Wesson M&P. He sat the pistol down. He says, "Why do I have checkering imprints on my palm?" I said, "Yeah, they're hot, ain't they?"
Well, you start getting with the power factors in USPSA like I shoot, and if you're shooting a 40, you're still shooting a pretty hot 40 to get the power factor.
Right.
So it's
I'll put it to you this way: I wrote on the outside of the reloading box in red Sharpie. These are hot.
I like
That,
GGW's
that
answer.
killed me when Nathan turned to me and said, "Why do I have a checker print on my palm?" After one shot. Whew.
Yeah,
I shoot a lot of nines.
GGW's got the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love that little 380 I got.
Once I started reloading for my little pocket rocket, I enjoy shooting it. I'll take it out and I'll run 50, 100 rounds through it, and it's a little snappy at times, but I actually enjoy shooting it, and it fits in my pocket just fine. I carry it with me everywhere I go.
Yeah, I like 380. I didn't used to till about maybe 3 years ago. I didn't even own one, and then the girlfriend at the time, who has since escaped to Texas, rat. Anyway, she got a Smith and Wesson 380 EZ, and I started shooting. And so we started loading for it. And I thought, this is kind of a nice little handgun. Then they fell off the roster in California. You can't get one unless I buy one secondhand someplace. So I bought a SIG P238 and subsequently a Bursa 380. And I like to shoot both those guns. They're fun to shoot. They're cheap to reload. A little 90 or 95 grain bullet. Don't cost you much to make one. And they're both accurate little firearms out at 10 yards.
Yeah,
They
for what
shoot
what
well.
they're for, yeah, they're extremely accurate.
So G23 popped in. 6 shooter Texan's next rifle will be at 1873 and 4440. Excellent choice. And 762 has it figured out.
Yeah. I like 4440 caliber too. I've only got a couple of firearms in 4440. I've got the Cimarron 1875 Remington clone and another Cimarron rifle, the original Henry 1860 and 4440. And they're both, cool looking, cool, and really both of them great shooters. They're fun to reload and shoot for because nobody knows what they are. You walk in there with that 4440 round, people start looking at it. What the heck is?
It's like the
It's got a
357 SIG. What the hell is this?
Yeah, with a bottleneck. Yeah.
Y'all don't misunderstand what my use for the 6.5 Creedmoor is, and that's long range target shooting, and that's all. There's no way I'd ever take a 6.5 Creedmoor out to do some, particularly elk hunting. That seems ill fitted for such a beast. If I was going to do that, I would use 30-06 or a 300 Win Mag.
Yeah, 25-06 works good too.
I can see that.
It's the 270 of long range. Nice flat trajectory. Well, I mean, think about it. You ever looked at the trajectory of a 270? It's got one of the flattest trajectories of any, caliber. Like a 308, I got to lob that baby in there. It's like playing basketball.
Todd likes 300 Win Mag. .4440 full of 2F. Gonna be doing black powder cowboy, huh? MCK elk equals 270. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of
25
people.
is a great caliber for larger game.
Yeah.
So, what new caliber is CW going to add? Is there any that he doesn't already have?
He's got them all. I ain't even asking him.
Many. Not many. I did add cast bullets to two calibers I didn't think I was. I got a 6mm and a 6.5mm mold, but no new calibers now.
Like I say, Jamie, we need to get together and shoot this 8mm Mauser and a couple of these Mosins.
I can do.
That I haven't shot.
Well, we just need to go up John's Mountain one day. So Walks has both, and he prefers the 270. So that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Get rid of some of them E's, G, and you'll be getting close, buddy. .4570 is. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo got another shipment of those um, Ruger made Marlins, and they're selling them for just under $1,500 a pop.
Wow.
And I think I've got that over here if we wanted to look at it. They're so awesome. But, man, dang. It's just. Oh, American Reloading has some primers in, guys, if y'all willing to pay. $100 a brick.
A lot of times, though, you can get with American Reloading and get already pre-primed brass. It's where they pull the bullets down. I bought thousands of 9mm brass from them that were already primed uh, and didn't have to pay any hazmat fee on. I don't know how they get around that, but they do, and it works. So
18-inch barrel, laminated stop.
1,500 bucks. Oh,
And that's Smoky Mountain Guns and Ammo. And it's got the little bit bigger lever, as you can see. Stainless steel, beautiful gun, laminated stock. Got the Picatinny rail already mounted on there. But how much does all of that stuff cost? I mean, even at outrageous inflated prices, that larger lever cannot be more than $150. That rail on the top can't be more than $40 or $50. Am I just bitter?
Yes.
no, I don't, I don't think so. That's a lot of money for that rifle. I don't see it in the rifle myself. I mean, if you wanted one badly enough, I guess you'd pay it. But
That's definitely retail.
I think it's actually over retail. I want to say retail on those is 9 or 1,050, something like that.
Yeah.
Retail's usually at least 30%. So yeah, that's about right.
And you could find that out if you were willing to go over and um, go over on Ruger's website and look them up. Yeah, the last JM stamp Marlin I bought was a 3030, and I paid $250 for it. But that was
1982.
no, it was I think it was 2017, somewhere around in there, 16. It might have been during the Obama administration. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Wallace has got a good point right there.
yeah,
Now, Hasbro, you can't load trap doors to full on power. Tactical FUD, 450 Bushmaster is all you need. I've put I put a lot of deer down with a 35 Remington. I put a bunch of them down with 270, and my latest kill was with 350 Legend and an AR platform. Now, see, James, if I was going to buy another rifle and it's not going to be a 44 Magnum, it'd be a 350 Legend and a bolt gun.
That happened to me.
I think
See that?
everybody needs him a 44 lever gun.
Man, you can do so much with those. That's such a versatile cartridge. And that right there, 6.5 Swedish Mauser, that is just one of the most accurate things ever. No wonder they use it for everything because they can pick the hair out that they're going to hit. Well, nobody's talking about college football or cornbread tonight. What's up? Shouldn't have said that. That would be,
Speaking
Here
of
we go.
cornbread, you want me to show you some? I made some.
um, are y'all familiar with disposable 762?
What do you mean disposable?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Disposable 762. He's one of us. He
Oh,
makes
Oh,
he makes videos.
Oh,
I was about to say, I didn't think brass was disposable.
yeah, we were talking about ammunition last, and now you say this, and I'm just like, I
What?
did see a piece on like plastic casings for bullets. I don't think that ever went very far, but
Gene, I'm glad you and me were on the same page with that.
Anyway, we're going to try to get him on. One of his sayings at the end of his videos is remember every knee and every tongue will confess Jesus Christ is Lord. No, you don't, Walks, especially if you're going to use Jiffy.
You
Anyway,
quoting
George,
disposable 762?
yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia boy likes disposable.
Yeah. I made it.
you did.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Y'all can get started now.
Hello, Mock.
Howdy, howdy.
you came in with a little bit of an entrance there.
Yeah.
Anybody see my video where I went to see Wasp and Armored Saint yesterday?
Yeah.
Last night?
Yeah, that's cool.
Saw yours and hers.
Man, that was a good show.
Happy
Honestly,
birthday.
haven't heard Armored Saint in years.
Man, that guy still got his pipes.
Good deal. Good deal.
And it's all
And
the
I've
same
never
guys
flushed
that
the toilet on the air, thank you.
It sounded like it.
When? Last week?
Man, I hope it hadn't been that long. No, when you signed on the first time, the background noise just sounded like water gushing down a drain
Oh.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in my truck. It was noisy.
I thought you were in mid-flight.
Well, if you consider 75-mile-an-hour flight, yeah, I'll take it. We're looking at 60 degrees, 50-mile-an-hour gust right now. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow hunting.
Wow.
Probably not much.
Yeah, the wind's blowing here like crazy too, Mark.
Yeah, buddy, you're in the same line.
Yep.
It's been weird weather here. It'll be warm and breezy one day, and then like what was it, Thursday, it was cold as crap and like 25, 30 mile an hour winds. And then it warmed up and calmed down, and I was like, there ain't no sense in even worrying about these leaves in the yard, because as soon as I rake them up or blow them up or whatever, they're just going to blow right back into the yard. So I'm just waiting until they're all down and then start chewing on them then.
I've been listening. Good chat, guys. Good chat.
-3 tomorrow. Wow.
Everybody make it through their new calibers?
Ish.
Is he in the side chat, guys? Did he show up?
Yes, I am. I'm disposable. 762. And remember, Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. We're gone.
You gonna eat your cornbread?
Oh man.
Yes, I am. I'm disposable. 762. And remember, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus
There's
Christ
gonna be
is Lord.
consequences and repercussions if you eat my cornbread.
Hey, Chico's here.
I spiced mine up a little bit to go with that deer stew that we made up. Got some cream corn in it and some New Mexican hatch green chilies in there. It's pretty good. See, what you need is 1.5 cups of cornmeal, 1/2 cup of flour, 1 egg, 4 cups.
Mute button. Hit the mute button.
And some sugar.
There you go.
Just go.
Sugar don't belong in cornbread or grits.
Hey, you eat yours the way you want it.
Sugar goes in sweet tea. If you put it in your tea, you don't have any left to put in your cornbread.
I don't know how you buy your sugar or how sweet you drink your tea.
I do like some butter and honey on my cornbread from now and then.
I've never tried it with honey.
It is really good with honey. Yeah.
I only buy locally sourced honey. That way,
Yep,
all
me
those
too.
pollens are in where I'm at. And yeah, man, some butter on some. Get when it's hot in the pan, spread that butter on it. Put a little honey on there. I mean, you got to break it up every once in a while. You got to make some jalapeno cornbread. Got a little bit of honey and butter, just butter.
It doesn't get more local than this right here. There's not even a label on it, and it's got a cork.
Yeah, mine doesn't have a label either, but it's in one of those plastic bears. It's a big one.
You know, to all the die-hard cornbread eaters with no sugars and stuff, we'll just make it with some good old Indiana sweet corn. Oh, yeah.
Well, everybody does understand that cornbread is just sugar anyways, right?
Man bun. Somebody called me out as right as I was typing that earlier. I think it was Gene.
I bet cornbread pancakes are good, Rollis.
Ooh, buckwheat pancakes.
Flapjacks.
I used to make cornbread pancakes with like fried catfish. I don't know about eating them for breakfast. I mean, you might have turned me on to something totally new. I might try something different tomorrow morning. I don't know.
I'll tell you what we're going to do tomorrow for breakfast, for brunch, because I'm sleeping till I wake up tomorrow.
I always sleep till I wake up.
Do it. Yeah, I was say most folks do it that way.
Day.
You don't understand. There's not going to be any alarms, guys. I'm going to sleep till I naturally wake up.
Nice.
And you know what? Since you said that, you'll be up at 4:30. Call me.
Probably.
I hope my breakfast is at first light with a big old cloud of black smoke or black powder smoke.
Yeah. No JCM 45. We ain't getting in the. Tommy Boy says they get their honey in half-gallon milk jugs. I'm talking about. I wish I could buy it like that. But we had some leftover mashed potatoes, so we're gonna make some potato cakes and pancakes tomorrow, and have some of my fresh deer sausage and some of Kyle's smoky links.
So what time tomorrow morning, James?
I don't know. I don't have it. I'm not going to have an alarm set. It could be 6:30. It could be 11:30.
I think Rigby might have your answer for you.
If I leave now, I could be on your front porch by the time you get up. And I can wait around. It's okay. We can kick it for a while before food.
I'll meet you in Cincinnati, Hot Pot, and I'll jump in.
Right on, right on.
I was about to say, I'll meet y'all on the highway and show y'all how to get there.
Copy.
Did everybody make it through their new caliber?
Yeah, except for you.
Yep.
You just got here.
I think my new caliber is, oh, hey, look, a 50 barrel wolf. Thank you, Scotsman. That's my new caliber.
I've got 2 pieces of that brass if you want it.
That was so funny.
Seriously, I've only found 2 pieces of that the whole time I've been collecting brass.
I got stuff for him, sneaky little shit. But other than that, yeah, 50 barrel wolf's my new gig.
I'm just determined to get everything that I own this coming year nailed down with some good loads and some get all of it fixed to my likings, because I have some guns that I inherited that are not in the best of shape that I'm going to get in tip-top shape. Like this 301 mag and a Ruger #1. I'm still determined to get Ruger to refinish this gun.
I've got some 300 Win Mag brass for you.
Cool.
You know, every time I see that on the range, I'm kind of scared of it, because if they're letting it go, how long has it been fired? You know, how many times has it been fired?
Well,
Man, I'll tell you what, the people in my range, it's just a bunch of old guys, retired guys with a bunch of money and big guns.
Well, if you get to where you could trust it, yeah, I guess that's the point.
So
but I had some where you could just look at the brass and the color and the texture, the way it just, you know, how you get used to seeing stuff. It kind of spooked me. I went ahead and tossed it out.
Every piece that I've got was given to me by a friend, and I know it was once fired out of his rifle.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. As long as you know the source.
On a rare occasion,
full of it for you, Jamie. I wish you'd have said something about it. I'd have gave it to you when you were here the other day.
Well, I'm gonna have to come get them primers if you don't need them.
You mean the brown sugar bourbon primers?
Yeah. Listen, guys. Hold on a minute.
New primer packaging. McCormick primers.
That's a very good rub, by the way, fellas.
Yeah, it is. I've used that.
It is good. I just thought it was funny. You brought primers over steak seasoning. Never mind. I just thought it was funny.
Well, let me explain what we're looking at here. Sports.
What it was.
What it is was I got this from our buddy Ricky Baird, and it holds 1,000 shotgun primers. Well, first of all, to get a primer out of there, this is not easy. You got to dump them. So I dumped half of them, 100 at a time, and put them in that canister that Kyle has. So now, if Kyle picked that thing up and flipped one side of that top open, you can see that it's pretty nice dispenser right there.
Not the one with the holes.
Just take your gum, Jamie, and dip down, pick it right up.
Go fishing. Yeah.
You know how much those primers cost? I'm not gumming them things up.
Go on.
What are you doing? I'm noodling primers.
Noodle and primer, there you go.
There you are.
Primer noodling.
Say hi to everybody in the side chat. I don't have it up right now, but hello everybody in the peanut gallery. You guys rock.
Jamie, I got to looking around where I moved everything out of the reloading room. Got to looking around in the basement. I found an extra brick of 1,000 shotgun primers down there. So yeah, you can have those back. I don't need them.
I'll dang sure come get them because
I mean, it's the same for 16, 20, and 12, right?
and 410 too, I believe. Right,
Yeah,
CW?
That's
sure
what I
is.
was thinking.
Yep.
And
Oh,
I've even
dang it.
Yep.
I got my grandpa's.
They did away with 57 years ago.
I
I've
got my
also
grandpa's Remington 716 gauge back.
cool.
I left it at a friend of mine's house 15 years ago when I was going through my divorce. That way nothing happened to it, and I finally got it back.
Well, it's not a 700. 700 is their
Eight,
bolt
eight,
action.
870. 870.
Yeah.
Yeah, 700's a rifle. My bad.
Did he have it on the back porch?
Shut up.
Mock for the win.
Oh, shots fired. I love you, Kyle. I'm just kidding.
Swish, nothing but net.
That wasn't even one across the bow. Man, that was a direct hit.
Yeah.
You
Right in the
sunk my
wheelhouse.
battleship.
Right in the pie hole.
Good night, Daniel.
Good night, Daniel.
Night, Daniel. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Good night, Bobby. Good to see you.
Night, John Boy.
Not Jethro.
Night, Mary Ellen.
Shazam!
What I was trying to say earlier till y'all got picking on people. I've also heard that shotgun primers can be used in some muzzle loaders, particularly the newer inline ones. Is that a fact?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of 209 shotgun primer muzzle loaders.
I got a little story. So I got a Remington 700 muzzleloader, and it took the number 11 or whatever cap. Sitting in a tree stand, had a deer in the crosshairs. Click. Great. So I racked the bolt, click again, and she took off. But it fired the third time. I was just mad. I just took the shot because it was quitting time anyway. And immediately got home, ordered me a 209 conversion kit. So that gun now uses 209s as well.
Nice.
So yes, to answer your question, plenty of them do the 209s. As a matter of fact, a lot of the modern ones do.
That's what they use for Cowboy Fast Draw. Have y'all ever watched that on YouTube? That Cowboy Fast Draw competition?
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yep.
Yeah, that stuff's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the blank fire and stuff. Some of them guys use the 209 primer converted cases because they throw enough junk out that they can pop balloons and stuff.
I like watching the 10-year-olds with the little Henry 10, 20 or Henry 22 lever guns shooting 10 rounds on target in like 2.2 seconds or something.
It's good stuff.
Teaching them young. One thing you have to do, and I know this from experience with muzzle loaders, is take the ramrod out of the barrel. I got in a hurry. I was using my neighbor's black powder gun. We got drawn for a WMA hunt, wildlife management area, government land hunt, but it was black powder only. I was using his, and I shot, and I hit the deer, and the deer had no clue where it came from, just sitting there. I hit it in the snout. Well, I reloaded. And I pulled the trigger a second time, and I left the ramrod in the barrel. It knocked me right out of the tree stand.
Boy.
Where's the video, Kyle?
Oh,
Come on.
this was 30 years ago. But I got the deer. You know what killed the deer? It wasn't the ball. It was the ramrod.
Oh no, that's great.
You speared the deer.
Doyle come over to me and went, I ain't never seen nothing like that before.
You should have pioneered that, engineered that, and come up with the first black powder arrow shooter.
Black powder crossbow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking I was in such a rush and all that. And I tap, 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 boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. Boom! It knocked me right out of the stand. I'm
That's
lucky
funny.
it didn't kill me.
Yeah,
No, y'all are lucky that didn't kill me.
right. Mike Hester. Dang, Rebel. I get that too, man.
No doubt.
You get to a certain age, your alarm clock becomes your bladder.
That's why I'm saying, go ahead and call me at 4:30. I'll be up. Oh man, it drives Angel crazy. I'll be up, my back will be hurting. I'll come up here and start sleeping on the couch or whatever, and she'll get up at like 5:50, getting ready to go to work. And I've been off all week, and I'm just sitting here do 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 do. She's like, "What are you doing awake?" I'm like,
But Georgia boy, I'll tell you this: I had a CVA Kentucky rifle I built from a kit back when I was 16 years old, and it took those caps, and if you can find those now, they're a very very much of a premium on them.
Yeah, Reloader 762. That is an epic video to watch. If y'all have never seen it, his world record revolver empty, reload empty, all on target in 2.99 seconds. That man is not human. He can't be.
What has he done to that gun?
Shot it a lot.
Oh, there's modifications. What has he done to it?
I'm not sure. That is an impressive video if you've never seen it.
Yeah.
And the caps, number 10s are generally a pistol cap, 11s are a rifle cap. But like Tommy Boy said, there is another conversion out there that uses primers, and you spin the nipple out, and you spin this little cup out that holds the primer, and then the back side of the cup is threaded, and it throws a cap over the primer, and it actually has a firing pin in it that stands up, and the hammer would strike the firing pin, dent the primer, and send all the spark, the flame down through the flash hole. Those were popular years ago as a conversion for the number 10 and 11 caps, or number 11 caps, because it wouldn't have fit on a pistol. And then you could convert to a musket cap too. A musket cap was just like the 10s and 11s, except they were far bigger with a bigger volume of flame. And you could get nipples for most of the standard rifles back then.
I think I'm going to order some of those cap makers. I got several of those not black powder, but the priming kits. I think it'd be neat to make your own primers with that for that aspect.
So apparently, according to Lead Bullet Junkie and Chico Wise, Jerry Mushlick's daughter is very good as well.
Oh yeah.
So
yep.
Nina.
We got to start going through the room, but I want to say one thing before we do that, and if I add another caliber, I've already told y'all I want to start 44 mag. Don't know if I'll be able to do it this coming year or not. But if I were going to add a different caliber, uh, not just different guns, but different caliber, it would be 45 Colt, not ACP, 45 long Colt. So let's start going through the room. We'll save Mark for last since he got in here last. What in the wide world of sports?
I was pulling up that Jerry Mitchell-like video in case you wanted to share it.
How long is it? We ain't got time. It's 11 minutes till.
It's a minute. It's a minute and 13 seconds long. That's how long it takes him to make a documentary on his 2 second shot.
Let's save that for next week. Maybe we can talk more about competitions next week and use that as one of our. That way, Gene, maybe we can get Chris from the 740 in here, and I know CW's done some competition stuff. Maybe Chico can come in and all that kind of stuff for next week. What do y'all think? Would y'all like to talk about shooting competition next week?
Sounds great.
I always want to talk shooting
Sure.
competitions.
All right. Mark with a C, it was an honor to have you with us tonight.
It was great to be here. Thank you.
You gonna
I can
be
start us
working?
off, and then Mark with a K can finish it.
All right. I was just going to ask if you got
Do a
anything
little
planned.
little more hunting this week if we can. Weather's not supposed to be very good tomorrow, so we'll see what we get. Still want to play with that new NOE mold and do a little bit more reloading with that 35, and I got that new mold, so might want to load some 308s with that. And that's just kind of what I got coming up.
Friendly advice, 35 Remington. Western Ramshot TAC and H335 are your friends.
All right, I'll look for that.
Beautiful shooting rounds for both me and Jamie. It wasn't just a one-off thing. Those are tag drivers.
Oh man, we got to get Six on here. Six, if you can join us, let me know. We'd love to have you talk about cowboy action shooting, because if I had my way, that's the competition I would be I'd be most interested in. Of course, I know a lot of you guys do USPSA. I'll not be doing that one. It's the other one I'd be doing to start with, and then I'd move into cowboy action shooting. So, Mr. Hot Pot, what are you going to be working on this week?
Well, first, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Thanks to the panel and the side chat. Everybody's been great tonight. Lots of topics I see. Making some new videos for the second channel, Hot Pot Tactical. I got a bunch of lead pipe to get mellowed down and get swirled around, and so I'm going to be it's cool outside, but I'll be on the edge of the garage keeping it warm.
You can bring that.
Just watch out for rain. It's supposed to rain.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm sleeping in tomorrow. We're expecting rain here too. I'm not going to go hunting in the rain. Of course, deer tend to move when it rains, so I don't know. Walter, what are you working on, my brother?
I got some more casting coming up. I'm going to shoot this weekend, and I've got a couple videos in the can ready to get pushed up to YouTube. I got a package from Midway this week that had a whole bunch of blemished bullets in it that they were selling cheap. They looked like they were going to be Hornady XTPs for 44, and that turned out they were. So I did a short video on comparing those to the standard issue 144, 180 grain hollow points from Hornady. So that'll be up later tonight. And our gun club's got the annual Christmas party coming up on Sunday, so we'll have a nice big barbecue out there, and they've got some trap competitions going on, and indoor range will be open, and so I'll shoot then too. So that's what I got coming up. Nothing, out of the ordinary really. So fun stuff.
Nice.
Very good.
And if anybody's not subbed to Walter's new channel, give him a check because he's got he's got 2 tremendous videos he just put out. One about buying a new mold and what you've got to do, what you look for, and one about getting started with casting. What you can use, what you need, what you don't need. Just 2 tremendous videos he just put out.
Thank you, CW.
I've started watching that one about what to look for in a mold 2 or 3 times, but if I don't watch it at work, it's like, she bellowed, I got to go. You'll get it later. Kyle, what you gonna be working on, brother?
I'm gonna continue sorting out some wheel weights and all that stuff, and while Angel's at work, me and old Stinky Dog gonna be on the back porch. I'll probably move my rig inside and melt them down and cast up a bunch of ingots and run down that trail and do a little bit more cleaning on some of these Milsurp rifles that I've got laying around.
That's interesting. You ought to try to make a video on some of that. We'll put it on Rumble if you don't want to put it on YouTube.
That sounds good. We can do that.
CW.
Not a whole lot planned. We'll see what happens. Got a lot on my plate going on here, so I just kind of steal time when I can. But I got 3 molds headed in, so I'll have some kind of video on them. I'm sure. Should have them next week. That's really about it. No shooting plan, no nothing.
Yeah, man, you got some good stuff out lately. That one video in particular that I liked was on Rumble about showing the different issues we run into while we're casting, the stuff that people that don't cast don't understand. People that don't cast think, well, all you got to do is fill that mold up with lead. Well, that's a lot easier said than done sometimes. So it was, I thought that aspect of that particular video was very interesting. But I appreciate you doing that.
Thank you.
And I know you got your plate full, brother. And that's why I'm so tickled to see anything that you get up.
I did get a new phone holder, I guess you'd call it, that'll allow me to get some different angles. It didn't do everything that I hoped that it would. Didn't do everything it said it would, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And it was pretty cheap on Amazon, so we'll see how that goes. I got that set up in the casting room. So yeah, some different angles. Yeah, I usually use a tripod, but this one isn't. It clamps to the bench. I was going to do a video on it, but like I said, it wasn't everything it was supposed to be, so it wasn't as fancy as I thought it was going to be. So I didn't bother a video, but I think it's going to work good. I do like the way it holds the phone because I use a phone for my videos. It's got a big. It looks like a big giant.
Do a video on the holder, but I realized that my phone was in the holder, so I couldn't video the holder.
Yeah. It's got a big clip on it. It looks like a potato chip clip or a hair clip that your girl might have. And it really holds the phone nicely on a ball socket. So it's got a lot of movement it's available to. And it's got a bendable wand and then 2 rigid poles. So it clamps to a bench, a table, vertically or horizontally. It's just a little shorter than I would have liked, but I think it's going to work out. And it was like $20. So
Not bad.
if it works
Pretty-
out good, maybe I will do a video. But it's I really like that drafting table holder that I've got on my main reloading bench, but not as much for videos as for just holding the phone. I can move the phone left or right. I can watch YouTube. I can listen to YouTube. I can have the phone there if I get a text message or a phone call while I'm down there, and it's really convenient for that. Plus, I've got the charge cord wired into it, so it works out really good. No cord in the way. It's integrated into the holder, so it works out really nice. I did a video on that one, and that was $20, $25 too.
Very good. Chico said he's got something very similar sounding to that. Mock, I'm looking forward to what you got coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping we're going to see some beaver trapping videos.
yeah. I've got some stuff I took off today. Earlier in the chat, I was on my way to get some gear, and I think by the first of next week I'll be setting some traps, guys. And I got a lot of hunting coming up. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. It's 60 degrees right now, windy and rainy, and I'm going south no matter what. So it's on. I'm going to try and get some deer and back to work Sunday, and then we'll have to do some afternoon hunts before work through the week. So other than that, it's good to see everybody. Good to see you, Mark, with a C, as always. And enjoy.
Thanks for being here, brother. I want to thank the panel members especially, and I want to thank all you guys in the side chat for being here, for driving the conversation. I hope you enjoyed the topic tonight. We seem to talk a bit about that. I've got a couple of videos planned. I hope I can find time to make them. I get to where I've noticed that almost every minute of my day is committed to one thing or another. So, got to free up some time. Guys, thank y'all for being here. We hope the Lord blesses you all real good. And if He's willing, we'll see you next week at 8 o'clock Friday night. Say good night, y'all.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.